Academia.
Hello and welcome to episode 87 of the My Hero Academia podcast. I'm Kendra, and today with me I have James. Say hi.
Hello.
And Gary. Also say hi.
Hi.
Woot. Today we're going to be covering episode 80, Relief for Licensed Trainees, and chapter 260, Life's Work. Before we do that, we're going to jump a bit into the news. First, Horikoshi got into a bit of hot water because he named the certain doctor after war crimes, which isn't the best idea, but also you got to keep in mind that in Japan, they basically, don't acknowledge it happened. The Americans helped cover it up, and so it makes sense, but I do like that Horikoshi, apologized several times, and he also, I think Shonen Jump made a point of being this was preventable, which I think was the main thing, is that Horikoshi made the mistake, but then no one caught it. And it's just
and it wasn't intentional, correct?
No. That's what it's so coincidental. That's my problem, is that it's so coincidental, and Horikoshi does tend to do references a lot. So, but it seems to be a complete coincidence because the doctor is rotund, so it was just kind of the more play on the fatness of it, apparently. But also there's different spellings of that word as well, and also it means it basically means log, and so it's kind of deku, or deku is a wooden doll. Toshinori is basically those big trees, so it's kind of but also he's why would it be him instead of One for All, who has more of a connection to them? So, we don't really know, but basically they're going to change it when the volumes come out. And I wonder, they didn't really say his name this chapter, so I hope they just, because I guess it's several weeks in advance chapters are done, but I think hopefully they can just go in and, white it out.
Yeah, or they could just call him Doctor, too, probably.
Yeah.
Get away with that.
But China did not take it well, because this was basically in World War II, I think it was, that a group of Japanese scientists started experimenting on people in China as well as other areas in Asia. So I think they pulled a lot of My Hero from their stores. There's a whole thing, because it's honestly, if he's not going to take them into consideration or be aware of it, why should they take him into consideration? I don't know, but hopefully it blows over. We'll see. Let's get into some happier news, unless you guys have anything else you wanted to add.
No, other than that, yeah, I mean, it seems like it could have been a coincidence, but I don't know. It did create a lot of heat, though, for the week. Yeah.
So I can definitely understand why people are upset. And, other people are oh, let's just, forget it happened and just, move on. It's not a big deal. And it's, it kind of is. But it's been apologized. He apologized and he issued another apology because people didn't like his first one.
Oh, no.
Because, there's just, language differences. I guess we're, especially Western, we're very used to, non-apologies. So then when you see the in Japanese, it raises an apology, but when translated... But also, it's, it's not just Western fans reacting. It's very much, thanks to instant translation available everywhere, it's also Chinese in other areas. But yeah, anyways.
I was gonna say that has been an issue before. I can't quite recall, but there was one time where a Japanese official did apologize for something, but the Western part of the world didn't like it because, like you said earlier. But yeah, so that's also an issue because the way they apologize and stuff like that.
Oh well. And the other news, there was a new chapter of Vigilante. Stuff is heating up in there again. Ooh. I think, we got the character designs for Gentle Criminal and La Brava, which is cute. And we got Horikoshi's author comment for this week saying, it's super delicious when you put Jagariko chips into curry noodle soup. I should get the patent on that. Nice. I'm going to look up what Jagariko is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, it's kind of looks it's potato chips in thin sticks. So it's pokey, but salty, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if that's even accurate.
I will say that I do like LaBrava's anime design.
I guess like I don't really. Is this the same as her manga design? It's like I don't like. Whenever people get really excited about the character designs, I'm like, eh.
Oh, I like it.
I just realized like heart is kind of on her groin.
Oh, I didn't even notice that till you pointed it out.
Oh well, but yay. And I think that's about it for the news. Uh, and are we ready to jump into the anime?
Oh, I thought Gary was gonna talk about the
Oh, sorry.
game.
Oh yeah, Gary. What's the who are some new characters?
Okay, just announced this weekend for One's Justice 2 are Kami as a playable character and Seiji, also known as Meat/Meatball.
I guess like how does I get and you said have we seen gameplay of it at all? Like, or are they like out now so you can play as them?
No, we haven't seen gameplay of it yet. The game isn't out
Okay.
till March 13th in the
Oh.
US anyway.
Oops.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Like, how Kami can do illusions? So how does she attack?
That was one thing I thought about too. I was like,
Or
oh,
yes.
that's Kami's work.
Read a little bit of a description, like she's like kind of sneaky, like how Toga was when she fought as her, and will like slip behind people a lot and attack from behind.
So I guess like you can make an illusion and you can like attack through the illusion.
Yeah.
And Meat Boy just seems like I think he basically just has to touch you, and then you're meat, and he can like throw his arms around to do so. So like I guess you can only beat him with like a team, really.
Yeah, like if he turns you into a meatball, you can't really do much. Maybe it's just like a temporary thing, kind of like how Mr. Compress was shown. Like he'll put people in a ball and then like release them right away. With Kami, I was wondering if like I would love for her to like make illusions that pertain to the exact character that she's fighting. So like how she'll do like flirtatious versions of characters, like make it a character that they would relate to. For example, like Overhaul, like have Chrono being flirting with them or something like that. Or
Yeah, that might be too much work. Maybe, or
I
who
know
knows?
it would be,
They might have her do like the Aurora Borealis, like in this episode or something.
or maybe like a kitten running by.
Nice.
We'll see. I'm excited to see it.
You wouldn't attack a kitten, would you?
Yeah. Overhaul would attack like anything though. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
This is my hero academia.
All right, this is the anime portion of the episode. This is episode 80, Relief for the Licensee Trainings, which covers chapters 166 through 168. And the beginning starts with all the children with red glowing eyes, and they're claiming that they're better than the trainees. And the elementary kids start by attacking the UA students with a barrage of different style of attacks using their quirks. And after we get the opening at that point, but after the opening, President Mike is impressed by the kids' attacks, saying that he couldn't produce that kind of power at his age, physically, legally, and mentally. Which I wonder if legally he was talking about the drugs.
Oh, or just like it's kind of against the laws to use your quirk in public, basically.
yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
also
For a
right.
hero.
they were like showing some destructive power too. So I was wondering about that.
Yeah. But Seiji Shishikura, aka Meat, explains that as the generations pass, quirks mix and deepen, and the stronger, more complex quirks may become too hard for anyone to control. It's called the Quirk Singularity Doomsday Theory. And that watching those kids makes them somewhat fearful that it'll probably come true. And the teacher cries, saying that it's all her fault, but President Mike grabs her and tells her that it's their turn right now, referring to the students. And some of the students ask Gang Orca if this is bad, and I don't understand his power. But Gang Orca replies that I'm not worried about something so significant at all. And that's when we get the title, of the episode at that point. And the elementary kids notice that the trainees are not scared of their quirks, even though they were just born a little earlier than them. And the little girl that hates Kami attacks first and directs her attack, which is called Queen Beam, towards Todoroki. And I love this part because Todoroki goes all Bishonen. And he tells her that he wants to see her cute face and not to spoil it with wrinkles. And she starts blushing. He says, like, I won't. And then we find out that it's a fake, and it's actually Kami. And the little girl freezes up and she turns cold. You even see like the little image of like a blizzard behind her. And the narrator gives us her details. She is Shiketsu High School second year, Kami Utsushimi, quirk glamour. She can create illusions for a short period of time, and that abuse of this quirk is prohibited. And I call this the best shot of the entire episode, but we get Bakugo imitating Bishon Todoroki. And he's like, I want to see your cute face. And he starts laughing. And the little blonde boy that has been sitting on the sidelines has an opinion. He basically says that everyone is hopeless except for him, and that they can use their powers way better than the current students. And also tells the kids that they are really amazing, but that just waving their powers around means that they've got a long way to go. And Kami, she creates an aurora borealis, and I was saying she creates an aurora borealis in this part of the country at this time of year, at this time of day, localized entirely within this gym.
Can I see it?
No. That's all I could think of when I saw that scene. I was like, but Todoroki made like a cool ice slide using what the kids used, what they made for the frame, and the kids are impressed.
Okay, question. Is it Rainbow Road, or is there like an ice road in Mario Kart?
I haven't played Mario Kart in so long that I don't
Rainbow
remember.
Road is more common. There's ice levels, but there's not really like an ice road that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There's like this. I don't know.
Sorry.
Well, I mostly haven't played Mario Kart because I'm bad at it. So. Except for Double Dash, I was pretty good with that one. But Bakugo reflects back to what he said earlier, that they have to make them think, "Wow, we're cool." But if you lose to an opponent that you look down upon, then it just makes them feel like crap. And also reflects on his performance at the licensing exam, while saying that at this rate, those kids will end up causing trouble for others, like himself during the provisional exam.
Mm-hmm.
He says he doesn't want them to go down the same path as him. And Todoroki agrees and says that widening those kids' horizons is something they should be able to do. And Bakugo reaches his hand and grabs the blonde kid and tells him to get in there too. Mm-hmm. And the blonde kid tells Bakugo that these standards are too low for him. Mm-hmm. And Bakugo's like, you're their leader, right? And he tells him, if you keep looking down on everyone, then you won't notice your own weakness. Just some advice from one of your elders. Remember it.
Aww. Bakugo's come so far.
I know, like I said, I hated Bakugo now, but he's kind of grown on me recently.
And I do like for the slide, at one point Todoroki just launches fire at it.
Yeah.
He's lighting the hula hoops, but for a second I was like, wait, Todoroki, no!
He's baiting the kids to get the slide and melts the ice. No, that'd be so messed up.
It seemed like really dangerous and unnecessary, especially lighting the rings on fire. Oh well.
And also, you gotta think, like, you're putting the kids on, you gotta make sure they don't run into each other.
Yeah, when I've done, like, water slides and stuff, there's been times where I, like, flip around the tube, and, like, if it was, like, an open space at the wrong time, you could just, like, flip right out of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That is my biggest fear. Going to water parks, too, that happens. Or, like, they have a weird, like, ride at Six Flags in Texas. It's kind of like a cart, but it goes down a slide, and I'm like... And the slide is like a half, kind of like an open one. And I'm like, what if like the weight is off and the freaking cart just flies off? I've like never gone on that ride. I was like, I've never gone on that ride out of that fear. Like I'll go up the ride that launches you 350 feet straight up in the air, but I'm not going on that roller coaster cart looking ride.
Have you guys played Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Yes.
So it just makes me think of that. Whoops. But anyways. It's funny when the brat, like, he's landing on the slide, he like since he has his hands on his chest, it looks like a magical girl transformation. I know we say that a lot, but it really does. And I was like, turn into Sailor Moon, you can do it. And Bakugo goes to talk to Todoroki, and it's really cool that he actually calls him Todoroki, because I feel like usually he calls him Icy Hot. He might have been doing it for a while now, I just noticed it. Mm-hmm. And President Mike is so nice and like gentle. He's like, "Oh, now it's your turn," because like they open their hearts a bit. Now like it's your job to like crank it fully open. And like I like it because like President Mike, he's usually so much like just a yelly like funny dude. Just like he's a nice dude, especially what you see in like the chapter as well. He has a big heart or broken heart. But anyways, oh, and also, like, now it's your turn does make me think of what All Might said when he's like, next, it's your turn. And then it cuts back to All Might and Endeavor. And this is, like, one of my favorite parts of the arc, really, however small this arc is. And they're talking about, like, what is the reason for strength? And the answer is simple. And we see Todoroki warming up the kids with his fireside. And it's just so cute. And you just, like, there's so much more to quirks than fighting, which I think is, like, something important to realize. Or I don't know, there's more to being the symbol of peace than strength. And Gang Orca starts being nice, and he's like, wait, shit, no, I gotta be mean. And they point out he does like kids. And then Kami comes for Bakugo's whole life and says he's not so bad if he just shuts up. And Bakugo actually doesn't yell at her to die, which is progress. He's like, you shut up.
Yeah.
And we get some exciting news that the two schools are going to start coordinating joint training. Woo! I really want that. And Endeavor comes back over to talk to them. And there is a little bit of interesting parallels of Bakugo telling Meat that he doesn't want to hear from him that he's, like, too violent and, like, know your place and all that stuff. And then Todoroki tells Endeavor he doesn't want to hear from him that he's changed. So it's kind of like, I don't know what that means, but And Endeavor's like, oh, I'm proud of you. It's like, I'll become a hero that you can be proud of. And it's still kind of missing the point that, like, being the most powerful person isn't gonna, like, gain you forgiveness. But we get into more of that later, but this is just kind of, it's sort of an interesting arc for Endeavor, however you want to interpret it. And I just wrote down be shown in Endeavor, and I don't remember why. Maybe he looked especially pretty. And Anasa punches himself in the face so he can cheer Endeavor on, because he still, like, doesn't really like him, but he's like, okay, you know what, I need to get over this. And Endeavor's reaction of, thanks, you're bleeding a lot. But, like, his voice is the same. It doesn't change. But it's also just nice that he can, like, notice people besides his kid now. Like, he actually is aware of people. Like, maybe in the past he wouldn't have noticed the blood. And there's some really, really good All Might narration and pointing out, like, you might, like, stop for a little bit or look back, but one step at a time you move forward. And then we get Gang Orca's information card, and he likes sea bathing, and all I could think of was that he's a beached whale.
Oh my god.
And there was, I think it was the QI, or no, what is it? Sorry, No Such Thing as a Fish. They tweeted out that all beached whales in the UK belong to the Queen. So if Gang Orca ever goes to Britain, he's crown property.
What?
Whatever. And then there's lots of shots of pretty flowers, and then I was like, why are they showing white flowers? It's never funerals. I was like, wait, shit, I forgot Sir was dead.
Oh my god.
It's so sad. And, like, the kids are just wearing their uniforms. And it's like, do you not own anything else that's black? But I don't know if maybe Japan doesn't have that tradition, but everyone else is wearing suits as well.
I'm trying to think back. The only reference I can think of is Yu Yu Hakusho, and they kind of just wore, like, regular clothes as well. Mm-hmm. Whenever Yusuke, quote-unquote, died. Yeah.
And Factum is wearing a suit over his hero suit. I'm just like, why? Are you expecting villains to attack? Like, I don't know. Let me see your hair. I just love Factum. And we learned Centipeder took over the agency. There's a lot of panning over still shots, and they did that, like, I actually really liked it when they did it with the slide, because it was really pretty, but I think it doesn't really take away from the scene at all. It's more, like, very dramatic and, like, kind of, like, reminding you, oh, yeah, like, we've had this laughs, but they're sad. And we learn Eri is still emotionally unstable, so she's not allowed to have guests, so it's if she can kill the nurses, that's fine. Her horn shrank to the size of a bump, and her powers haven't seemed to have activated. They're tied to the horn. And then we cut back to the students going to school, and Kaminari thought too hard and short-circuited himself. So I wonder if maybe he tried to quicken his brain speed, which is actually, like, smart, but maybe he did, like, just it didn't work. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kaminari?
I think ectoplasm's course is too hard. That's all.
That's me in math class. I would just give up. I'll be like, Let me actually, if I have the formulas, like I'm allowed to have them and a calculator, I could maybe do it, but I had no idea what that thing on there said. Da da da. And Tokoyami is like, oh, Momo can't solve it. It's a math question of darkness. And it's like, oh, you're so dramatic. I forget, is Tokoyami smart or is he dumb? I don't remember where he ranked.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. And I'm kind of sad because they did like the really tough question. Deku tries to answer, gets it wrong. Momo gets it right, and they cut Bakugo smirking over it, which was so funny. Maybe that happens later or something, but there's a scene of Bakugo like laughing at it, and it was just like it was so petty. And Mineta is just like he's very concerned about Deku, and then Aoyama appears from nowhere and puts cheese into Deku's mouth as he talks. And then he winks, and it's just like, what's happening? And he says the type of cheese, and for a second I was like, are there cheese meanings like flowers? But I don't think so. And Ida's actually really nice and invites him to join them in the cafeteria. Oh, and I think they were running to class, or that might happen later, but I think it happens later. I just love that. I don't know, they're good friends. And Aoyama is like, oh, he doesn't usually eat in the calf. Because I wonder, like, is he gluten intolerant or something? Because he always brings fancy food from home. And wine?
Yeah.
Is it grape juice? What are you doing, Aoyama?
Yeah, and I mean, we know he's not lactose intolerant. He eats all that cheese.
Oh, true. Or I was saying gluten intolerant.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I gotcha.
He's got weird stomach stuff going on with the laser, so who knows? Who knows? It's hard to tell what Aoyama is thinking. And then I'm so mad this wasn't the end of last episode. It wasn't the teaser, but Aoyama creeps onto Deku's balcony and is smiling at the sleeping Midoriya. And then, like, the narrator, future Deku, is like, he started showing his true colors. He leaves something and leaves, and poor Deku is still awake and terrified out of his mind. And I'm just gonna continue. He looks at the cheese, and it says, "I know." And it's like, what is he doing? And I just want to point out that I think this is what inspired Sophie to want to start a podcast eventually, because it was just like the most bonkers thing ever. Because like Aoyama's just like the weird guy in the corner who's always looking at the camera and like shoots lasers sometimes, but what's he up to? I guess we'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like kind of rounding out that scene when Deku sees the cheese, he screams cheese in his head. I thought that was pretty funny. And he's like really stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day, Deku enters the classroom and Aoyama is seated near the door, so he winks at him and says, "Surprise." So then during class, Deku is still stressed out and he thinks back to not being able to sleep the previous night. And he thinks about his history with Aoyama. Then Midnight walks by, like, behind them, and she, like, nonchalantly hits Mineta in the back of the head because he's sleeping in class and wakes him up. Then Midoriya thinks that he should talk with Aoyama about everything privately. Then Kaminari walks up to Mineta and says he wants to show him an article, and Mineta's like, "What's the rating on the article?" And he says all ages, and it's just explaining that Mountain Lady, Kamui Woods, and Edgeshot formed a hero team called Team Lurkers. Then Mina suggests a team up when they become heroes, and she wants Ochako to make her float so she can drop down acid rain on everybody. Then Mina also wants Zero to control her with his tape, and Jiro and Shoji to serve as scouts, and they call themselves Team Rainy Day. And then she tells Mineta and Kaminari that they're not needed. I wonder, obviously Sue would be good on Team Rainy Day, not for those reasons, but because she's the Rainy Day hero and all.
Yeah.
Then we go to the gym, and the students are there to practice their ultimate moves. Kirishima wants to practice taking punches to be able to defeat Rappa in a future fight, so he asks Sato and Midoriya to beat him up to their heart's content. Then Bakugo bumps into Midoriya, and then he asks him if he has improved. Midoriya replies with no, as he thinks back to the overhaul fight, and he thinks he wants to be able to use One for All at 100%. Then Aoyama calls out to Midoriya, and he turns around, sees him standing by this big slab of stone, and he tells him to watch, and then he blasts a hole through the stone slab with his laser, and he calls it his new move, Naval Buffet Laser. And then he immediately hunches over with his stomach hurting. Then Midoriya accompanies him as he rests. Then, referring back to the cheese that spelled out "I know," Midoriya asks Aoyama what he knows. And then he says that his body isn't compatible with his quirk and that they're alike. He's had to wear the support belt since childhood to prevent any lasers from coming out. And he said he gave him the surprise, being the cheese, to make him happy. Then Aoyama says that if you only face painful things, you won't be able to twinkle.
Oh, I just want to point out, Aoyama like wrote something in the stone here, and I think it was Latin. It was basically means still waters run deep. I was disappointed they didn't have like a little translation underneath it.
Yeah, I was too. That's kind of why I didn't mention it, because it didn't really say what it was, but I'm glad you knew. Okay, so then we see a montage of Kirishima getting blasted and punched by Bakugo and Sato, respectively. Then Deku assures Aoyama that his surprise was a huge success. And then Aoyama craps his pants. At the dorms, we see the washing machine running and Aoyama's clothes inside. He offers Midoriya more cheese, and then Deku thinks to himself that he and Aoyama have become friends, and we get like a still of a fancy-looking picture of Aoyama with flowers and cheese. And that's the end.
We'll start with you, James. What do you think of the episode?
Well, first off, I was gonna say, did you eat that cheese?
Yeah.
Was like, no.
Because like I was too scared. Like, also it was like on the ground. I'm not gonna eat ground cheese.
It was on like a cloth.
Ground cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, it was also outside. Who knows how long it was like out in the open? That's not healthy at all. Anyways.
Deku said he didn't have the courage to eat it.
He doesn't know what's in that cheese. But yeah. But I like this episode a lot, actually. I like the beginning with the kids. Like, instead of like fighting them, they just made like a really fun slide for them, and just kind of showed them that like it doesn't matter if your quirks are powerful or not. You can just use them in other ways. And obviously, my favorite part was the Aurora Borealis part. And I like Todoroki and Bakugo Bishonen. That was nice. And the other part of the episode with the whole cheese thing, like, that's honestly one of my favorite chapters just because it was so ridiculous. And I think at that time I was still catching up, so I think I was just reading through it. So, like, that's why I said a lot of parts of the overhaul arc I just didn't remember because I just marathoned through it. But I do remember the cheese part and the festival arc a lot for some reason. But overall, this episode was really good.
Nice. I really like the student stuff, and I really like kind of comparing it to Endeavor. Like, the kids are learning to kind of like help to open up people's hearts, and also like kind of interacting with other people better. And like, it feels like Endeavor needs to take that class as well, because I don't know if you would be able to win over those kids besides like just roaring flame at them and being like, bleh. But I really liked what they did with like, but they did like a bit of the first person as the kid was like sliding through, and I thought that was like a nice, like, they're not doing it like panel by panel, they're actually like making a few changes. And I like didn't realize Kami was a second year, so I was like, oh wow. And I want her to fight Bakugo just because like I like it. Bakugo actually like laughed. He like never laughs, so it was just like, I don't know, brings out new sides of Bakugo, which I think is good. And the character development, yay. It was kind of, I did like the Aoyama stuff, but I like, it's so random. I think that's my problem, is that it doesn't really connect to anything. It's like, oh, now Aoyama's my friend. And it's just like, I guess, okay, there's a bit of a theory going around that Aoyama might be quirkless. And because he has, like, no one else really has their quirk actively hurting them. Like, even Eri, she can't, like, she can't do it to herself. Undo stuff, as far as we know. So that seems really weird to me. So I almost wonder if maybe his parents, like, were really rich and they just, like, were willing to pay a lot of money to make sure their kid had a quirk. But like he does say like, oh, I was like born like this, but I don't know if maybe that's what he was told, because like most people, they like you manifest your quirk by age 4, so and you don't really remember being 4, maybe like or maybe a little bit. So I don't know. There's something up with Aoyama. I don't know what though.
He says something too in this episode about how like the doctor told him that he would never be able not to wear it, pretty much.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't. More on that later. Cause there's some like I don't know. I love Aoyama, but he's slightly off. Like, what's his deal?
Like slightly?
Yeah, he's very off. He's a very weird kid. But then also you got to remember, like during the Bakugo, like when the training camp got interrupted, he's the one who shot a laser and saved Tokoyami, like distracted them. So he's probably not the traitor, or maybe he's not aware of it. I don't know. It's kind of funny to now like kind of be meeting more of the class. So I hope maybe like Sarah and Sato might get this as well, or Hagagure, or like the girls basically having a moment with Deku. But overall, I really liked it. I'm excited now for kind of like the sports festival to start soon, because or not sports festival, culture festival, because they keep like teasing it in the opening. I'm just like, just go to it already. But Gary, what were your thoughts?
I liked it as well. It was one of my favorite episodes, probably mostly because of the comedic elements with the Bishonen, Todoroki, and Bakugo, even when he's imitating him. And I did want to point out too that he called Todoroki Glamouroki and thought that was amusing. The Aoyama stuff, I remember reading it in the manga and thinking, oh, is this going to be some of the traitor info? You know, like, is that what this is getting at? But of course, it was just ridiculous. I think they did a good job turning it into media, and I'm looking, or animated, and I'm looking forward to the English dub of it too. I think that's going to be pretty wild.
Oh yeah.
It'll be 2 weeks, I think, though. They're 2 weeks behind now.
Oh yeah, I was trying to think because I felt like I saw clips of something, but maybe that probably wasn't the dub. But yeah, I've definitely fallen behind on the dub just because it's like 2 weeks behind now, but it's not really their fault. So
Yeah, it's still way faster than we normally get dubs. So.
Oh, for sure.
It also made me really want Aoyama playable in One's Justice too, and so I'm sad. Hopefully we'll get him eventually.
We need him! He just shoots
I know.
lasers!
I know, especially with this episode where we're getting Kami and Seiji, and this is kind of like it for them for a while. Yeah, so I wish, maybe next season we'll get everybody and a couple of Class 1B people.
Hopefully, or they can be like DLC or something.
Yeah.
Are we ready to go on into the manga?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is my hero academia.
So this is chapter 260, Life's Work. And we get the kind of like cover page, kind of like a movie when like it shows the setting and it goes like kern kern and it shows the location. And we got Jakku Hospital and it shows Endeavor. And I think last week or a few weeks ago we pointed out that it was just like no one else. Why does everyone want to go to Jakku?
Yeah, that's what I said last week.
So funny. And then 80 kilometers away, Hawk's looking very dramatic, and it's Gunga Mountain Villa. And the official translator for My Hero Academia, Caleb Cook, you can follow him on Twitter at CDCubed, pointed out that Gunga is probably in reference to Otoa Gunga, the underwater Gungan city on Naboo. And I think so. Someone tweeted at him being like, "Oh, is Jar Jar gonna appear?" And that was at Red Violet Panda, because that's very funny.
Yeah.
So, like, is Johnny Jar Jar? And I think that's
God.
the only time we see Hawks in this episode. Or sorry, this chapter.
I believe so. And then I wasn't too sure if the Gunga was a reference to Star Wars until I saw Caleb post, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not completely wrong then. But
So,
yeah.
yeah, I'm worried about where Hawks is. Like, I don't know. Don't die, Hawks. Live. Prove them all wrong.
Live, damn.
Oh. And then, okay, here's the weird thing: is now when it cuts to it, and like, didn't Endeavor like grab the Doctor? That's what I thought happened last chapter.
I think he
I
just
thought,
confronted them, didn't he?
yeah, I think so.
But I
I'll
do
double
like
check.
where it is. He's like, just like screaming. And also, it's nice that like there's a bunch of people there. It's not just Endeavor. He's not. He's smart. Oh, All Might's best friend is there. And the Doctor is just making a break for it, and we see some people notice that. I was like, how? And also, Eraserhead just like trips him because like, Eraserhead hates this dude. So I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And Endeavor's just staring down at him, and he's like, Endeavor's like, looks like the registry was wrong, and President Mike is, or sorry, oh my god, Eraserhead is staring at him, and he just like, he just turns this really creepy
Yeah.
old man, and like, I guess those are his goggles have fallen down. Just like, I knew the registry was wrong. I'm so mad I worked last week because I wanted to yell about the Doctor because fuck the Doctor.
Yeah.
And Endeavor explains what's going on. He aged the second you hit him with your erasure. So he does have a quirk. And All Might's best friend tumps up and he goes, could that be the same quirk that kept All for One alive this long? And that's a really good question, is that I wonder how long the Doctor's been working with All for One. Since the beginning? Or is he a recent-ish addition?
I remember they had a conversation about not finding like a regeneration quirk for a while, though. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that it's rare.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, and the Black Gnomos specifically are equipped with hyper regeneration. Similar quirks could always exist, but it's not common by any means. That type we classify as rare quirk. And that's, I think we've theorized before that maybe they were targeting homeless people. And also, like, he runs hospitals and elderly homes. So, like,
an orphanage, too, right?
An orphanage.
Mhm.
So, like, he could just take it from kids. And then also, he could take it from older people as well. So, like, he really, like, rare quirks, he could maybe they're rare because he grabs them all. So, like, I don't know. I'm very interested if he was, like, given that quirk. I don't know. He's very much a mystery man. Ooh, his face. I'm just looking at, like, the bottom panel.
Mm-hmm.
His face is super creepy. And then they point out, so it's quirk replication, which is really interesting. Or maybe artificial quirks. That's also cool. Like, I don't know. It makes me think of Smile Fruits from One Piece. Like, fake devil fruits, fake quirks. Like, patching them together. You provided All for One with that technology. What? President Mike does not give a shit. He's like, wow, neat. You could apply all that to regenerative medical care. Basically, it's like using cheat codes. Yet, and he kind of like flips him over and says, why use it the way you did, huh? That like expression is so good. Like him looking at him kind of from like above his sunglasses. Like it's like probably one of the most serious we've seen President Mike. And he just starts screaming, why'd you do it, you old piece of trash? And that's me screaming. And I didn't notice what Caleb did point out, that he starts to crack his sunglasses a little bit.
Oh, I just see that now. Wow.
Because I thought maybe he was crying or something. Like, it looks like my screen is cracked. Like, it's really good.
I was going to say, President Mike has been through a lot this arc.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to want to take him out to karaoke.
Yeah, like, they should also be like, President Mike, you need to back off. But what happens next?
We see one of the other medical staff says, stop that. Please don't be so rough with them. What did the good doctor even do? And he's like, Endeavor's, stand back, people. He's like, this isn't right. He's like, we need you out of here. And we see Aizawa just kind of with some ellipses. And we see the other heroes just saying, we're evacuating the entire hospital. And you see somebody actually like flip up the hospital beds.
Like they're just dropping them.
I know.
But I
You
do
see-
like what's his name? Ectoplasm. His clones are carrying it out. So like I don't know, they're being careful-ish, but people need to be like attached to things as well.
Yeah, and it says in case we need to fight any Nomu, and he sees some of the heroes carrying some of the patients along. And I'm sorry, I forget the bunny girl's name.
Okay, now where do
Mirko.
I sign to have Tiger carry me?
And the guy that like Tiger is carrying looks like he has feelings.
He's
I
thrilled.
know, he's so happy.
I would be so happy. And also, like, I think that's the guy who is who was in the class with Gentle,
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay.
which is like very cute. Or I thought for a second it was the random First Nation hero who dresses like a First Nation. I was like, why is that guy here? But oh well.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I don't remember the bunny girl's hero name.
Oh, Mirko or
Mirko.
something? Yeah,
What is it?
Mirko.
Mirko? Okay. She says, the best case, we take this place without spilling a drop of blood. Those Nomu brains are programmed to obey a designated handler. Without orders, they're just useless lumps. And she like double kicks through the morgue. I love this shot.
Yes,
And it
so
says,
good.
we know that much from studying the ones we've caught so far. And you see some of the hospital staff still looking on. It says the people you tinkered with and tossed aside are all saying, and you see that they've got the doctor tied up right in this moment. And we see Aizawa saying, this is our payback. And
Yeah.
no. Yeah.
I'm sorry, his expression is so good there.
Yeah. I love the art on that little illustration. But the doctor just looks so like his eyes are sunken in and stuff. He's like, no, please have mercy. And we see Endeavor calling Mirko. And then he says, he has a smile now and he says, have mercy. And we see Mirko still kind of like flying across and she calls out, Endeavor, we've got company. And you see a bunch of different types of Nomu out here and they all look for some pretty wild designs. Some of these look like SCPs.
What's that?
The secure, contain, protect, like the cryptid kind of thing.
Oh, and I also like one of the Nomu has like a lot of fingers.
When you said SCP, I thought Insane Clown Posse. I'm like, that's not right.
Oh no. Yeah, they're just like those monsters like that people make up. I don't know. It's like a weird community, but they look like kind of those type of monsters that people draw.
So none of their pants.
Yeah. There's one that the one on the top also has pants.
Is that because they have best genist?
Oh no.
They just like clothing their army. Ugh, what if there is a Nomu who has best genus quirk now, or like best genus
no.
is a Nomu? I forgot that.
That's
I
sad.
made myself sad.
Oh. The one that creeps me out is the one on the floor. That's just like nightmare fuel. He's got like
Resident
really
Evil.
long. Yeah.
It's like arms extending out.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
coming out of the darkness. Anyways, let's go. Let's move away from this.
Yeah, like stop staring at that. Oh, we get more next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next page, we have more Nomu breaking through the wall. There's one that kind of looks like a whale with some really unnatural looking teeth. But I think in its mouth there's like another Nomu that has like drills for hands, and he has like 8 hands or so. Well, we only see, I think, 4.
He's got the Gurren Lagann quirk.
Real baby drill. Pierce the heavens.
Pierce the doctor.
Yes.
Then, well, actually, that's what happens. The drills go through the doctor. And he flies back with a zabwam.
I love that sound effect. It's so big. Like I haven't really seen that. And like kind of transparent too. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure what Aizawa is doing. He's
He's he's blinking.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see. And then Endeavor says, and the whale Nomu with the drill Nomu looks down. And then the doctor says, so organisms replicated by the double quirk aren't nullified by erasure. Good to know. Ho ho, if you knew I had replication technology, then you should have been more wary. And then he's kind of melting, and we get it that when he says the double quirk, that no doubt twice used his quirk, and this is just a replication.
Mhm.
He continues, "No, that's expecting too much from you, I suppose."
What a
sound
cocky
effect-
bastard.
Oh, sorry.
The sound effect is Loop. Is that the name of Gwyneth Paltrow's thing? I don't know.
Goop. It's Goop.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's Goop.
Yeah.
I wish it was. And that's like, they should have, maybe do you think Hawks didn't tell them about Twice? Like, they really should have been more prepared.
Yeah, and like this is in last week's episode. This was my prediction that he was either going to be a Toga or a Twice clone. So I got one thing right finally, but if I could figure out, the hero should have, and they probably had an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to note too that they're not the ones that attacked him.
Yeah.
That it was the Nomu.
Mhm.
And I think Caleb Cook pointed out that maybe they purposely, the Nomu did that so they couldn't press this clone for information.
Mm-hmm.
Then, okay, next panel we get Endeavor, like a close up of him, and he says twice his quirk, so it looks like he was surprised. The doctor says then again, and then we see like the inside of the lab where we saw the doctor coming out of in that like security footage.
Mhm.
There's different Nomu in glass cases and wires and stuff coming from the ceiling. And we see one of those glass containers with Shigaraki inside. The doctor, the real doctor, assumedly the real doctor, says, "How could they have known that?" And he looks back. He says, "I've let my double handle everything while I've been occupied with Tomura Shigaraki, my masterpiece." Damn them, those meddlesome heroes. And he would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddlesome heroes, I want to add.
And he runs to go on his weird chair.
Yeah. And when he jumps in it, or he says, "Swoop, I didn't want to abandon the hospital." And then we see like a shot of the wall. He says, "Do they have any idea how much time and equipment it takes to replicate and cultivate a single quirk?" So I think we're seeing like basically glass bottles of or jars of the different quirks all along a wall, like a very big wall, kind of like a library shelf.
I wonder if it's blood or like the quirk factor, or have you guys seen Heroes?
Not
The
really.
NBC
I saw a
show?
couple episodes.
Yes. So like there's the villain Siler who could like he opened up people's brains and then he would like copy their powers just from seeing it.
Mhm.
So like I wonder if maybe it's just like a certain part of the brain or so, like something really specific, or is it like I don't know where does your quirk juice? I guess it's in your blood or like in your DNA.
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of hard to tell. Like to me, it almost looks like a digital.
Yeah, I was
doesn't
gonna
like-
make a comment on it, but I think I'll wait till the end of the chapter
Yeah.
because it's kind of a
Okay.
longer explanation, I think.
Oh, sorry. And they all have different patterns, but sorry I interrupted.
No, you're fine. I interrupted, actually.
Yeah, well now we
Yeah,
can
whatever.
continue.
I'm the jerk. No.
Oh.
I'm very interruptible. It's
Mhm.
fine. Then he says, "Or how much I've labored to amass this stockpile of quirks. It's all crammed in here, my life's work. The blood, sweat, tears, and happy days spent with All for One. All of it." And we do get more shots of basically silhouettes of Nomu, and there's some interesting designs we see. Kind of one has like, looks like octopus legs, some serpent-looking ones, one with like kind of long hair, which we don't usually see Nomu with hair.
The one at the
Then-
very, I was gonna say the one behind the serpent-looking one kind of has like the shape of a bear standing
Yeah.
up. I don't know.
Maybe it's friendly.
Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about.
And I just
That's
wonder
kinda cool.
why is he going more with like the abomination thing instead of doing more like people Nomu, like Kurogiri.
Well, my theory is that the ones that are more monstrous are multiple quirks, and the ones that have like a single quirk are a little more human. That's my
Mhm.
guess, as what we've seen so far.
Mhm. And I do like the happy days spent with All for One. Like, did they have like birthday parties here and eat cake? Like, I don't know.
Mondays, Tuesdays, happy days. Yeah, that's right.
And then guess who comes to ruin it all? It's Mirko, and we get a crotch shot. But at least she's kicking ass doing it.
And it's a little more anatomically correct than Boichi.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
We're talking about that last chapter we talked about.
Where are you guys in Dr. Stone right now?
The where they landed on Earth, the last surviving 6, the ancestors, I guess you could say.
Okay. Spoilers for Dr. Stone.
Yeah, there's just a couple of weird shots that were. Yeah.
Because there's some really bad stuff coming up where like it's just, or it's a bit later, but there's just like, learn to draw a human woman. Like, it's not hard.
Yeah.
I guess I would just say like her boobs are like going up really high, like covering her face high. But I guess that's just how boobs work. And I love that she's just kind of like zooming around, and she's like, "What a rush!" Like she's having fun. She's just kicking ass, taking names, and she's whamming around. Wham, 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 wham. And he's like, I got a tough, and he's out of his chair now. I got a tough call to make. Your walk is over, Johnny. And Johnny's just like going for a stroll. Does Johnny have a
I love this.
I love Johnny. Let
Johnny
Johnny be
Walker.
free. Well, Johnny is about to be freed in a sense. And he's like, I need you to warp Shigaraki and be out of here. Stat! And he's got his little shoes. I don't know, like, let him be free. And he is freed because he dies. I did not notice this until I read Caleb's thread, that the thing also falls on him. And this is so satisfying. All of his little stupid jar things get broken. And we get a big crash. And I think apparently that was also in English. And all those things are shattering. And she's like, are you the real one? And he shits his pants. And he's like, coming out of his nose. He better be the real one, because, like, I don't know, fuck him up. And also, it makes me think of a bit of spoilers for One Piece, Whole Cake Island, but Judge had that whole, like, wall of clones, and, like, nothing really came of it.
I was gonna say, that was never addressed again, and that annoyed me so much about that arc.
So I was just happy that she came along and just instantly destroys it. It reminds me also of Mountain Lady, when she, like, wore a truck as a shoe and smashed it. So, like, it's nice that when the girls do get to do stuff, they go with a bang. Like, I don't know, girl heroes aren't for show. They do get to kick ass when Horikoshi lets them. Yay, don't die, Mirko! That's all I ask. Don't die. Live. I'm just like, I'm willing her to live. I hope the doctor doesn't like, I have a gun! And she's like, oh no, my one weakness!
Oh no.
And I think it's nice that I don't think her half crescent thing is see-through, which I like, because I think I thought it was, but it seems like it's just like fabric. It's not like cutting into it's not a boob window.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Sorry.
I was wondering where Johnny's getting crushed, and he says Yerk if he's trying to say Steve Yerko.
He's wishing him a happy birthday. I don't know if you listen, Steve, but Johnny, a small abomination, wishes you happy birthday. Belated. I love Mirko. I hope she gets to. Oh, what if she eats some of the samples and she's like, now I have more quirks. And she's like,
oh no.
She goes rabid. A rabid bunny. Can bunnies get rabies?
I was gonna say, have you ever watched Monty Python and Holy Grail?
Yeah.
The rabbit just like attacking everybody.
So we just need to make sure, keep her away from any grenades. Rabbits and hares almost never found to be infected with rabies, so at least she's resistant to that, but that's not what quirks are. Anyways, who started? I started. My thoughts of the chapter. I really liked it. Like, it feels like, it's just like, very intense the entire time. I guess I'm only a little bit sad that we didn't get to see Hawks, because it kind of faked us out at the start, but I probably, next chapter, will get to see what's going on at Gunga Mountain Villa, because I feel like that's going to be the real chaos one, unless the doctor, like this doctor, if it's the real doctor, I don't even know what's going to happen there. Like, I'm terrified. Like, there's so many like heroes here. I'm just like, please, please don't die, any of you. Like, I feel like someone, and also it feels so endgamey too. Like,
Mhm.
is My Hero going to end after this? But
That's kind of what I felt because I was thinking about what Jay Perrier said last time he was on, that he mentioned that this could be the final arc, and like I was thinking to myself, I don't know, but now that we're seeing this, I kind of think that maybe that might actually be a possibility.
but I also like I want to see Deku. Maybe it would just like show him like, oh, now I got all of these. But I don't know. But who wants to go next for their thoughts on the chapter? Because that's all I got. Besides, I'm in love with Mirko, and I want the tiger guy to carry me.
I'll go next if Gary doesn't mind.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Well, we'll say that I do feel that maybe we'll probably cut to the Gunga Mountain Villa next chapter. I'm just kind of have like a feeling that's going to happen, and we don't get to see what happens at the hospital till later. That's what I feel like. And I like the beginning just because like the doctors tried to intervene because they just don't know what's going on. And like I said earlier, please somebody give President Mike a big hug after all this is over. He needs something. He needs some therapy.
Oh, I just noticed something. I think, oh my God, Eraserhead has like a knife or something. Because like when you see the doctor going eek, like he has two pouches and then like a long thing. So does he have like a machete?
I thought he did carry something.
Oh yeah,
So I don't
Yeah, I
know.
just see it too right there behind, that he carries behind his back.
it's kind of like Momo's butt shelf.
Oh yes, that's what I was thinking. Maybe she was inspired by him, or he's inspired by her, and also Rocklock. I'm pretty sure that's Rocklock. So
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
hopefully
there.
Rocklock can like lock somebody up, or like do it to one of the Nomu or something, and just be like, "Gotcha!" Or just like I don't know. I hope he like sees a kid Nomu and it's just like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." But I interrupted. Sorry, James.
No, you're fine because I didn't even notice that about Aizawa. But yeah, the hospital scene where they catch him was like pretty neat and stuff like that. Like the main part that I really liked about this chapter was the morgue part in the laboratory, because it has a lot of Akira and a lot of Final Fantasy VII vibes to it in a way. And even like I think I posted a picture in the chat that the jars look almost exactly the same as the jars that Akira kept in. They like look like a little circuit board with like nerve endings or something on it.
Oh,
I don't know if anyone's seen the movie. I have the manga, but I haven't quite read the manga yet.
I've seen the movie, but it was years ago, so I really only remember the motorcycle and like weird meat people.
Yeah,
Right?
but yeah, he can like I don't know, yeah, but that's kind of like the vibes I got from him, and especially the fact that the doctor even got in like a chair to move over, because like one of the main characters also has like a floating wheelchair kind of thing in the movie. And it reminds me of that rat-looking doctor in the movie too, as well. Now that I think about it, and the Shigaraki in the jar kind of reminds me of Sephiroth when he was in that jar, which I don't really remember exactly that scene, but it has kind of the same beats to it. So I'm wondering if like this is just going to be Akira from the rest of the series.
Oh, I just realized Johnny has does Johnny have a tail? No, that's his like leash.
Yeah, it's like a long cord or something. I have no idea what that is, but
He had like that spine thing too. We saw that last chapter.
Yeah.
I wonder, there was the Noma with like the cat ears, so I wonder if that might come into play. Like he's probably has some like quirk. Maybe he has like a quirk injector thing that he could like inject himself with a quirk.
Yeah. And I really like how Mirko did shine on this. Like, I like her design. It's pretty cool. And like how she just double kicked through the doors, and like she really shone in this chapter. And like she defeated a lot of the Nomus when she did that rush too. Like she just kicked body parts off of them.
It makes me think of Fat Gum, how he was like overwhelm the enemy and make them lose their will to fight. And because like they can regenerate, but as long as she gets past them, it doesn't matter. So I feel like maybe these might come back, but she is like hitting brain, so maybe that might shut them down.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. But you could see like they did make her legs super muscly, like that's how like muscly legs are supposed to look like. Like he didn't do a bad job. He didn't Boichi it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I love her feet, like her rabbit feet. You can only see a little bit of it.
Yeah, her design's actually really cool. Like it's pretty neat. And then The thing with Johnny too, like I don't know, was that the same Johnny we saw last chapter?
I think
No,
so.
I think last chapter it was the thing with the bunny ears.
Yeah, and he had that weird.
Or not bunny ears, sorry, cat ears. So it wasn't Johnny, I don't think.
No.
He named it Johnny, didn't he?
No.
Oh, I
don't-
made that joke that he names them all Johnny. That's what I said.
Yeah, I'm trying to look because I think do you mean the one that they see in like that's the guy took the picture of?
Yes.
I don't think it's Johnny because it has cat ears.
Yeah, I think this is different, but I do like that for some reason he's just going on a walk. I don't understand what that's about. I just think it's funny.
He needs to use up his energy.
I think it's funny though. He's like your walk is over. It's like, does he like put him on a leash and go have some playtime, Johnny?
Maybe like
Johnny-
whoever
sorry.
he stole the quirk from that Johnny has, like maybe whoever had the warping quirk had to get a certain amount of steps in before they could use it.
It's actually a really good theory
Ooh,
there.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, it's kind of like, hey, if you want to teleport to this location, you have to like step that many steps in order to like do it. That would be like, why don't I just walk there then?
That
I do-
explains the shoes.
And also Johnny's shoes, I like that they're not like laced. They're just like Velcro shoes. But also Johnny's face is so creepy. Like I don't want a frontal shot of Johnny at all. I'm glad he's dead. I never want to see him again.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either. Like he just dies as a result of Mirko bouncing or jumping in, kicking the doors. So I was like, oh, rest in
I
peace.
wonder if maybe he's not dead. He could just be injured. And like since there is like quirk replication, which is really interesting that you can like copy a quirk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I just want to say, like, did I say already that maybe Hawks is hiding twice from them a little bit? Because, like, I guess they don't really know their plan. Like, we don't really know how much the heroes know. We got sidetracked. Gary, what'd you think of the chapter?
I liked it as well. We were getting like some pretty cool action shots. Like what James said, Mirko taking out the Nomu was pretty sweet. Like she did that mainly by themselves, and I love how it's like pictured like they're bouncing off the walls and floors and stuff like that. That's really cool. One thing I like felt kind of sad about is how she busts through the doors and like knocks a bunch of the quirks off the wall. Because that kind of them getting destroyed removes any potential for them to go back to their original owner. That was the only thing I was kind of thinking there. But it makes me excited for what's next. I'm assuming we'll have a little bit more of the hospital, and then maybe mid-chapter switch to the hotel. Is that what that is? The villa?
The villa.
Yeah, the villa. I do wonder, like, I think it is that Mirko is very much like a rush in without really thinking. So, like,
Mhm.
you're right, the fact that she destroyed those things. But I wonder if maybe, like, how do you think it would have the name of the person on it? Like, how would you even match it up?
Right. It probably would. If any information was on it, it would probably just be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it is still salvageable, even, because it was just like the jar has the little. I really like the nerve ending thing, so it's not like it's liquid or anything, so it could still be savable.
Yeah.
Let's see. I had something to, and they probably know that Twice is at the villa, so that's why they weren't expecting the duplicate here.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, they still have, like, it's not like they just sent in one hero. They have a bunch of heroes. So I think they were even really prepared for duplicates. And also, like, oh, I like, send out my double instead. But, like, you're still in the same building. Like, you should be somewhere else. Like, and also, you're using a shit ton of power. You're going to show up on the power grid. Even though, like, hospitals use a lot, like, it's still using more. So I think he's kind of dumb, honestly, unless this is also a fake. But like he shouldn't have kept Shigaraki at the hospital. Like that's so much of a risk.
And maybe that cable that's sticking out of Johnny is like powering the entire building.
Oh, but also like I really want to know who the person at the hospital was who took a picture of that.
Wasn't it
Right?
just security footage? And they
No,
zoomed it in?
I think it was a spy they had. One sec.
Maybe it was the cat nurse since she's the real hero.
I thought maybe it was the filler character that we got that had cameras all over his body.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's the journalist, right?
Yeah, the journalist.
Oh, sorry. I'm just looking. He didn't grab the doctor last chapter. I thought he did. He was just very close to him, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Devil's minion," huh? Or as someone tweeted out, "Got you, bitch."
That was That was Nick.
Yay, Nick. Sorry, I'm trying to find that shot of when they see the weird cat ears, Nomu. Our insider managed to get proof. So yeah, there is someone who managed to get a shot of it. So is that Hawks? Or wait, no, we get to see the person taking a picture, and it's someone with white hair. It could be Hawks. Oh, that is very interesting. I hope we get to learn more about this insider if it's not Hawks. Because Hawks hasn't been allowed to meet Shigaraki or the doctor, so I don't think it would be him, like, breaking into the hospital to take a picture. It must be... Or who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, and he doesn't have wings.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're right! I forgot Hawks has wings!
It's like, it is one.
Same.
Oh my god, that was so bad. Maybe he's just covering them up. He's spying. Oh, and also like
Or maybe he got them all used up, you know.
Oh, true. The doctor's name has Shiga, so I'm wondering. I think does Shiga mean pain? Shiga, refinement, elegance, grace. It's a Shiga prefecture. It's a biological toxin. I don't. Sorry, I'm trying to look up Shiga because All for One's name, the last name is Shigaraki. So why does the doctor have? I guess it's just like similarities, but also it's like, did the All for One name himself after the doctor? Like, if the doctor's been around since like the beginning? That's what I'm trying to go to. Oh, she is death. Gara, handle, key is tree, so death hold tree. So I guess Shigi, so his name's like, doctor has like death handle in his name because he grabs death.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Any other thoughts for the chapter? Or predictions?
I still think things are gonna go south for the heroes.
It's gone a little bit too well for them, even with like the double. I think next chapter is all gonna be the hotel, and that might be where stuff gets interesting because I tweeted it out, but I think maybe Kaminari is there to take out the lights, and then they have Tokuyami like rush in and grab something. And I wonder if they'll have to fight Hawks, because Hawks will have to pretend to still be with them or something. That might be interesting.
Yeah.
Is Tokuyami in that group? He is,
Yes.
isn't he?
Yes.
So maybe
yeah.
they'll have a reunion and Tokuyami will throw shade.
Or I wonder or we could cut back to Deku and the kids, like evacuating the city and like, where is Gigantomachia? Do you think he's at the villa or is he at the hospital?
I thought he was at the villa with the aren't they having like a commander meeting or something?
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if the doctor was in that meeting or not either. I'm trying to remember back.
I don't think he was, because he's like top secret basically.
Yeah.
Right, he doesn't ever meet with them usually.
So yeah, I feel like the villa people might have trouble just because Machia's there. So like, how the hell do you fight Machia? He's like a mountain. Just like Rocklock should just tap me like, no, you don't get to move. But he's a different area. Or just like throw mushrooms in his throat and be like, how do you like that? So I'm just like, I'm looking at like the previous chapter and we get to see like all the heroes doing stuff. And also Midnight could knock people out because she's also there. those jokes, like, it's gonna be like very chaotic. Also, best boy. I'm looking at the last chapter because I wasn't on, but Hananuke is there, and so I love him. I hope he gets to screw stuff up. I don't want anyone to die, but like also kind of do because it would be cool. But also, no one die. I want them all to live. Are we ready to round it out, or any last minute stuff we want to sneak in?
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add.
R.A.P. Johnny. And on that note, where can we find you, James?
You can find me on Twitter at that one welder guy. You can find my podcast, the Kicking Stones podcast, which is a Dr. Stone manga review podcast, at Dr. Stone Pod on Twitter. And I have another podcast, the Weeb Jammin' podcast. We just recorded our episode of Megalobox last week, and it's already out. And next month we're going to be doing Lovely Complex, which Gary picked. And Gary is also on there too.
Yay. Gary, where can we find you?
I am at Wrath of Giraffes on Twitter, and you can also find me on the Weeb Jammin' podcast.
Yay.
If you didn't hear that 2 seconds ago. Okay, go on.
In case you just skipped to Gary, which I support that. But don't skip James. Anyways, you can skip me. I'm Kendra. You can follow me on Twitter at Sniper of My Heart. I also have another podcast about Haikyuu, The View from the Top. You can follow us on Twitter at HaikyuuPod, and you can follow the podcast on Twitter at myheropod. You can email us at myheropod@gmail.com. Also visit our website, myheropod.com, and we are starting to post on our YouTube channel a little bit. So like I am going to try to post this episode on there, and we might do the backlog as well. It just takes a while. Sorry. What else? You can follow Sophie on Twitter. She wasn't on this week. She's awesome. You can follow Sophie on Twitter at Chopper's Antlers. I think that's about it. Leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts. That way more people can find us. And also just send us your theories. How will someone punch the doctor in the dick? That's fine. And don't forget to walk your pets. Go beyond.
Plus
Ultra. Yay.
This is my hero academia. This is manga news and more. Plus Ultra. Ooh, they're my hero academia.